Chief Bitcoin in the house, baby. Casper. Casper.network. Okay, so that's where you find it. Casper blockchain built for the future. I like this one. The first live proof of stake blockchain built off the Casper CBC specification. Okay. The Cspr public token sale will start on March 23rd on CoinList. Registration for the sale is now open. So if you belong to a country that allows you to get into this sale, then get into the sale if you want. But first, check with your financial advisor. Check with your financial advisor about every single move you make when it comes to investments, whether it's crypto, stocks, real estate. I don't care what it is. If you're going to go out and buy a Lamborghini, ask your financial advisor if that's a good investment. Why Casper? The Casper network is the first live proof-of-stake blockchain built off the Casper CBC specification. Casper is designed to accelerate enterprise and developer adoption of blockchain technology today while ensuring it can remain performant in the future as network participant needs evolve. So hopefully this thing is going to be faster than Ethereum. Okay, so CBC Casper proof of stake. Casper was built off the original CBC Casper specifications designed by Ethereum developers. Okay, so this is I like this one. Okay, enterprise optimized. Businesses can choose to build private or permissioned applications on the network. Oh, nice. Scalable. Casper's POS architecture enables sharding, a database scaling solution. Good. It's scalable. Future-proof. Upgradable contracts, predictable gas fees, and WebAssembly ensure Casper evolves as businesses do. Good. Read the Casper Highway Protocol white paper to learn more about the proof-of-stake CBC consensus mechanism that maintains the network. So there's the white paper there. Hit that button. About CSPR. CSPR is the native token to the Casper network. As a proof-of-stake blockchain, Casper relies on CSPR to reward the validators that participate in the POS consensus mechanism to ensure and uphold the network. Casper users also Casper users also rely on CSPR to pay network fees for on-chain actions. The CSPR token will be available only through CoinList for the initial public token sale. Good. CoinList. I like that. Once CSPR lockup periods end, we anticipate the token to be available through other platforms per jurisdiction compliance. Register. Here's a register button there. Join the community. Okay, read this too. The CoinList public sale is available to non-US, non-China, and non-Canada participants in CoinList supported jurisdictions. So it's got to be a jurisdiction that's supported by CoinList. If it's not supported by CoinList jurisdictions, you can't get involved. Okay, so that's a lot of people that are going to be excluded. And when this thing comes on to the market, all these people in the US, which is a huge bunch of consumers there, a whole bunch of Chinese, a whole bunch of Canadians, these are all big time crypto, enthusiast countries. They're going to want to buy this thing. So this thing's going to more than likely go up in price. Join the community, take part in the conversation and build the Casper ecosystem with us. I want to buy this coin when it goes onto the market. The sooner I buy it, the better. If it dips in price, I'll buy the dip. Hopefully, Bitcoin is going up in price when this goes onto the market, because if Bitcoin is still going up, if we're still in a Bitcoin bull market, then this is going to go up in price faster. Okay, if we're not in a bull market, we're in a bear market, it's not going to go up as fast, more than likely. But, you know, there's no guarantees, okay? It could go up. This thing is great. Okay, take part in the conversation and build the Casper ecosystem with us. So you got your Discord, you got your Telegram, you got your Twitter. Check them out. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you hit the white paper button on the main web page there that you saw me circle there. Anyways, this is what comes up. Okay, so you hit another button on the white paper and this is what comes up. Highway efficient consensus with flexible finality. And it's got some names there: Daniel Kane, Andreas Flacker, Adam Gagal, Damian Straszak. I hope I said that right. Computer Science and Engineering Department, UC San Diego, Casper Labs AG, Cardinal Cartography, Crypto. Let me say that again. Cardinal Cryptography. Cardinal Cryptography. January 16th, 2021. Abstract. Okay, there has been recently a lot of progress in designing efficient, partially synchronous BFT consensus protocols that are meant to serve as core consensus engines for proof-of-stake blockchain systems. While the state-of-the-art solutions attain virtually optimal performance under the theoretical model, there is still room for improvement, as several practical aspects of such systems are not captured by this model. Most notably, during regular execution, due to financial incentives in such systems, one expects an overwhelming fraction of nodes to honestly follow the protocol rules, and only few of them to be faulty, most likely due to temporary network issues. Intuitively, the fact that almost all nodes behave honestly should result in stronger confidence in blocks finalized in such periods. However, it is not the case under the classical model where finality is binary. We propose Highway, a new consensus protocol that is safe and live in the classical partially synchronous BFT model, while at the same time offering practical improvements over existing solutions. Good. Specifically, block finality in Highway is not binary but is expressed by fractional nodes that would need to break the protocol rules in order for a block to be reverted. During periods of honest participation, finality of blocks might reach well beyond 1 to 3 as what would be the maximum for classical protocols, up to even 1, complete certainty. Having finality defined this way, Highway offers flexibility with respect to the configuration of security thresholds among nodes running the protocol, allowing nodes with lower thresholds to reach finality faster than the ones requiring higher level of confidence. Okay, introduction. Since the introduction of Bitcoin, the concept of decentralized tamper-proof database, a blockchain, a number of different paradigms have been developed to design such databases. Recently, the idea of building such systems based on proof of stake has gained significant popularity, while in the original POW, proof of work, as used in Bitcoin, mechanisms that is used for incentivizing participants and securing the system, the voting power of a participant is proportional to the amount of computational power possessed. In POS, the voting power is proportional to the amount of tokens, digital currency specific to the system. A popular choice in such systems is then to periodically delegate a fixed size committee of participants, which then is responsible for running the consensus on which blocks to add to the blockchain. This way of building a blockchain has two substantial advantages over vanilla POW systems such as Bitcoin. One, it allows to run one of the classical permission consensus protocols that have been developed over the last 4 decades. Two, it allows to not only reward nodes for participation, but also penalize misbehavior by slashing security deposits of the offending committee members. That's interesting. I like it. So far, I like everything about this thing. There has been recently tremendous progress in the design of permissioned consensus protocols that can be used as core engines as such POS blockchains. A vast majority of them are designed in the partially synchronous BFT model, which asserts that communication between nodes becomes eventually synchronous and that no more than a given fraction of nodes, say 1 to 3, which is optimal in this model, are dishonest and may violate the protocol in an arbitrary way. State-of-the-art protocols such as Hotstuff, Tendermint, and Streamlit come close to optimality with respect to bandwidth. Okay, so I like that. Latency and finalization, and also importantly, simplicity. However, there are several practical properties of such blockchain systems that are not captured by this classical model, and consequently, significant room for improvement remains. One such important aspect is that the partition of nodes, to be honest, and Byzantine might not accurately reflect their true attitude. In fact, according to the model, even honest nodes that have been missed several protocol messages because of a DDoS attack or even a temporary network failure are considered Byzantine. In a situation where more than 1/3 of nodes suffered, even for a few seconds, from such a network issue, protocols in the classical BFT model are not guaranteed to function properly. On the other hand, besides these occasional offline periods, it is fair to assume that in a real-world system, an overwhelming fraction, if not all, of the nodes honestly follow the protocol rules. This is a consequence of the financial incentives for honest participation. Indeed, it is in the best interest of committee members to make sure they actively participate in the consensus protocol, as they are paid salary for honest work and are penalized for being offline or not contributing enough to the protocol progress. In fact, because of penalties for protocol offenses, it is highly unlikely that an adversary tries an attack which is not guaranteed to succeed, as otherwise it risks significant losses. Therefore, with the only exception of large-scale coordinated attacks that are intended to bring down the whole system, one should always expect almost all nodes to behave honestly. Good. Sounds really secure. Motivated by this realization, there have been several works that design protocols which are safe in the classical sense, while at the same time trying to offer better guarantees in typical scenarios. In this paper, we propose a new protocol, Highway, that contributes to this line of work. The security of Highway is still formalized on grounds of the partially synchronous BFT model. Thus, in particular, it achieves safety and liveliness in the most demanding settings when 1 to 3 of all nodes are Byzantine. However, on top of that, Highway offers the following two features that make it particularly attractive in real-world deployments. First of all, in periods of honest participation of a large fraction of nodes, it allows to reach finality of blocks with confidence much higher than the typical threshold of 1 to 3. To give it an example, if a block reaches finality confidence of 0.8, which is possible in Highway, then at least 80% of the nodes would need to violate the protocol in order to revert the block from the chain. This stands in contrast with the classical notion of finalization that is binary. Either a block is finalized, this means finality confidence of 1 to 3, or it is not. The second practical improvement in Highway is that it achieves flexibility akin to the notion defined in MNR 19. The nodes participating in Highway might be configured with different security trade-offs between the allowed number of Byzantine and crashing nodes that might go offline but are otherwise honest in the protocol. Flexibility then means that despite these differences in configuration, all the nodes run a single version of the protocol and perform the same actions. Only the finality decisions they make depend on the chosen parameters. A practical consequence is that nodes with lower security thresholds might reach finality much faster than nodes with higher thresholds. But as long as both these nodes' assumptions are satisfied, they finalize the same blocks and stay in agreement. Technically, Highway can be categorized as a DAG-based protocol, in which nodes jointly maintain a common history of protocol messages, forming a direct acyclic graph representing the casualty order. In its design, Highway derives from the CBC Casper approach and significantly improves upon it by the use of new finality mechanisms, message creation, schedule, and spam prevention mechanism. We believe that the conceptual simplicity of DAG-based protocols, along with desirable practical features of the Highway protocol, make it a solid choice for a consensus engine in a proof-of-stake-based blockchain. This is fantastic. Our results. Model. We consider a system with a fixed set V of n validators, each of them equipped with a public key which is known to other nodes. This model matches the scenario of permissioned blockchain, but the protocol can be applied to semi-permissionless scenario as well by rotating the set of validators. Our model makes the following assumptions. Reliable point-to-point communication. We assume that channels do not drop messages and all messages in the protocol are authenticated by digital signature of the sender. Partially synchronous network. There exists publicly known bound and an unknown global stabilization time so that after GST, whenever a validator sends a message, it reaches the recipient within time. Additionally, we assume the validators have bounded clock drift. Such versions of partial synchrony is known as a known flavor for the discussion on the version without publicly known. Okay, Byzantine faults. We assume that F out of N validators are under total control of an adversary and hence can arbitrarily deviate from the protocol. We do not make a global assumption on the relation between F and N, as safely and liveliness require different bounds, and the latter have an interaction with number of crashing nodes as well. Crashing faults. We assume that C out of N nodes can become permanently unresponsive at the same point in the protocol execution. Consensus in the context of blockchain. In a typical blockchain system, validators are tasked with performing an iterative consensus on an ever-growing chain of transactions that they receive from the external environment. In the process, they enclose transactions into blocks, forming a blockchain in which each block refers to its predecessor by hash. The first one, the Genesis block, is part of the protocol definition. In Highway, as the set of validators is either constant or subject only to very controlled changes, different between eras, see subsection 4.2, specific validators are directly appointed to construct a block in a given time slot. They do so by enclosing transactions from their local queue and hash of the block that they believe should be the predecessor. As it may happen that a validator does not refer to the last constructed block either intentionally or due to a network failure, the set B of blocks is a tree with a unique path leading from each block to the root. The genesis block G, the main goal of the consensus protocol is such a scenario is to choose a single branch from such a tree. For block B, we refer to all the blocks that are on the other branches as competing with B, as if any of them would be chosen, B could not. Practical changes. Strong optimistic finality. While since the initial definition of the partial synchronous model by Dwork, Lynch, and Stockmeyer, a vast body of research was created to optimize various parameters of protocols in this setting. Most of it was written under the semi-formal assumption that the existence of more than n3 dishonest nodes predates the existence of any provable guarantees for such protocols. Such an assumption stems from the fact that, as proven in the original paper, it is not possible for a partially synchronous protocol to guarantee both liveliness and finality if n greater than 3f plus 1. In spite of this negative result, it is however possible to provide additional finality guarantees in the scenario where, for a prolonged period, even dishonest nodes do not deviate from the protocol and actively work to finalize blocks. Although it may seem like an important observation from the perspective of classical security models, we stress that it carries significant practical consequences. In most cases of blockchain deployments, it may be assumed that most of the time, basically all the nodes will actively collaborate to achieve consensus. It is hence possible to provide much stronger finality guarantees for blocks created during such periods, so to revert them much more than N3 validators would have to conclude. Flexibility. Once the classical n greater than 3f plus 1 bound is left aside, a natural trade-off between finality and liveliness occurs. Stronger finality guaranteed we require. The more validators need to honestly collaborate to finalize the block with such a guarantee. The trade-off could be resolved by all the validators agreeing on a common finality threshold that they intend to use, but such solution would have significant limitations. In Highway, however, there is no need to agree upon a common threshold, so every validator is able to use a different one, or even several different thresholds. Besides eliminating the need to make an additional consensus on this particular hyperparameter, one important implication of such feature is that it allows validators to play slightly different roles in the ecosystem. For example, some validators may deal mainly with finalizing relatively small transactions, in which case small latency is more important than very high security. And, as will become apparent after the protocol is present, reaching higher thresholds usually takes more time, while others can prioritize safety over latency. Our contribution, we present Highway, a consensus protocol achieving strong, optimistic finality that is flexible by allowing validators to use different confidence thresholds to convince themselves that a given block is finalized. Both confidence threshold and finality will be properly defined in subsection 3.3. Unless some validators actively deviate from the protocol, the finality of a block can only increase for a given validator, which intuitively corresponds to the ever-increasing number of confirmations for the block in POW scenario. However, unlike in POW, POW, proof of work. In highway, the confidence levels for a given block can be directly interpreted as the number of validators that would need to misbehave in order to reverse such a block, which we formalize as the following theorem. Theorem 1. Finality. If an honest validator reaches finality with the confidence threshold for a given valid block B, then no honest validator will ever reach finality with confidence threshold. Okay, so I hope you understand all this stuff. So that's part of the white paper, and these guys obviously know what they're doing. Okay, this doesn't look like a scam to me, but don't go all in on anything. Don't go all in on any coin. Don't go all in on any pre-sale. Spread your money around. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment for you. Talk to your financial advisor before you go into anything. Okay? Any type of investment, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's buying a house, whether it's buying a business, check with your financial advisor. Okay, so if you want to see more pre-sales that Chief Bitcoin likes, and there's only a few that I like. I mean, there's lots of pre-sales out there, and there's lots of them that are doing well. But I really like this one. I really like this one. It's a full blockchain. Okay, I like full blockchains. That's what I love. You know, not just, this isn't just an add-on to some blockchain like, you know, Ethereum or Polkadot or something like that. This is a whole blockchain by itself that they're creating here. And it looks fantastic. So give me a thumbs up if you want to see more of Chief's picks of what he thinks are great. Okay, so this is one of Chief's picks here. This one, Concordium, is Chief's pick. There's other ones that are not, that I've done, you know, videos of it that are not really Chief's pick. Okay, this one is strong. This is a strong pick here. Okay, and not everything's going to go to the moon. Not everything's going to make money. Some of these might scam out. You know, we don't know if they're going to run away with the money. There was a woman that ran away with $1 billion last year, and they're still looking for her. She did a pre-sale, took $1 billion, and disappeared. That could happen anytime with any coin. Okay, something looks really good, looks really sweet, looks like it's awesome, and then somebody, you know, the people run away with the money. That's completely possible. Let's hope that doesn't happen with this one. So check with your financial advisor. That's why. You know, your financial advisor will probably say, stay away from crypto. And if he tells you to stay away from crypto, then stay away from crypto. Do what your financial advisor says. He'll put you into all kinds of things that are way better than crypto, that are, you know, better things. He'll find you a nice mutual fund or ETF or something. Okay, so always check with your financial advisor. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more pre-sales that I like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification bell that's beside the subscribe button there, so you're notified right away. You only have so much time to get in on this one. Time is running out. This is not financial advice. I'm not going to put money into it because I'm into one of these countries that, you know, I live in a country where I'm not allowed to participate in this one, so I'm not going to. I would say don't put any money into anything that your financial advisor doesn't, unless your financial advisor says, yeah, put money into that one. Okay. So your financial advisor will probably say, forget it. Stay away from crypto. Listen to him. Okay. I want everybody to have a fantastic day.